A tragedy that rocked the Madison community has come almost to a close.
With Khari Sanford convicted late last night of murdering a UW doctor and her husband, we now know he will face his sentence on August 18th. Naomi Coles has covered much of this trial and joins us with more. Naomi?
Because the judge banned audio or visual recordings from the courtroom for this trial, the public has heard almost nothing from those who led the case. After the verdict, that all changed.
The right verdict was rendered today.
We are one step closer to the finality for the criminal justice system, but we're not done yet.
Khari Sanford, guilty.
This verdict marks the end of years of effort for the UW Police Department leading the investigation.
A very long and painful journey. They've been working around the clock very hard for the last 2 years, and obviously I think we're able to help bring justice.
A case made longer in part by a pandemic backlog and no request for a speedy trial, as was the case with Chandler Halderson, another very recent high-profile murder trial in our community.
Now we're dealing with all the cases that were before the shutdown, the cases that came in during the shutdown, and obviously the cases that continue to come in.
Throughout the trial, we heard from Khari Sanford's girlfriend and also from his accomplice, but never from him. The only time the public has heard from Sanford is in a letter he wrote to the judge last fall, and which his defense did not use in court. In it, he never affirms either his innocence or his guilt. Instead, he talks at length about a troubled childhood, his incarcerated father, being, quote, villainized by the public, and the social justice initiatives he got involved with in high school. For those who loved his victims, the prosecutor's office says they'll continue standing by to support.
I have met with family members. We have tried to support them as best we can through this difficult time, and we will continue to do so throughout the pendency of this case and after if they need.
Something to remember when looking towards sentencing. Sanford faces a mandatory prison sentence of life behind bars. The only decision the judge will be making at that hearing is whether or not he can qualify later to be considered for parole.